Good afternoon, students. So again, this session is about some basic concepts related to Unit 5. Okay, some terms, some important terms which is related to Unit 5 before getting into the Unit 5 concept. Okay, so we'll switch on the window. See the first one, rec- recursive language. Okay, uh, you know about recursively enumerable language, but at least the definition of recursive enumerable language. Can anyone post here what do you mean by recursive enumerable language? So, which means if there exists a Turing machine, okay, if Turing machine accept any language means that language which is a recursive enumerable language, okay, like regular language. Regular language, what is the definition of regular language means a finite machine accept any particular language means that language is called a regular language. Same like that, recursively enumerable language means if any Turing machine accept that particular language means that language it is called recursively enumerable language, which is a type 0 language. Okay. So we all know about some definition of recursively enumerable language in Unit 4. But here one more language which is recursive language. Okay. So I will cover some topics which is pertaining to some MCQ as well as some gate questions. Okay. So first, recursive language. See the definition. A language L. Okay, a language L is said to be recursive if there exists a Turing machine. Okay, if a language L is said to be recursive, means if there exists a Turing machine for that language, which will accept all the strings W in L. Okay, so language L means collection of strings W, which will accept all the strings in L and reject all the strings not in L. Okay, this is called recursive language. Okay, recursive language means that language is which is also accepted by, which is also accepted by Turing machine, which means it may accept by Turing machine or sometimes it may reject by Turing machine. If it is accepted string means it will go into the S state, that is accept state. If it reject means then it will go into the reject states or no. Okay. So recursive language means any languages uh, can able to perform over on Turing machine means that language which is called recursive language, and it has only two states. Okay, either a string which is go into the accept state or S state, or else reject state, node state. Okay, if any particular string which is in L language, the given language L means that a string which will go into the S state. Okay, the strings which are not part of the given language means that string which will move on to the reject state. Okay. Second point, very important point, the Turing machine will halt every time and give an answer. Yes, it will give an answer either in the form of say yes or no. Okay. If a string can be able to accepted by a Turing machine means the state will move to S state, else reject state. Okay, so the Turing machine will halt every time. Okay, to over working on recursive language. So that's the difference between recursive language as well as recursive enumerable language, which will play an important role in the gate question as well as the MCQ part. Okay, you don't have any confusion on between these two languages, recursive language as well as recursive enumerable language. Then only I will depict a picture. In recursive language, the input to the Turing machine M, which is a Turing machine, just feed a string W to the Turing machine, it may go to accept state or reject state. Okay. Next, recursive enumerable language, which is the type 0 language. A language L is said to be a recursive enumerable language if there exists a Turing machine. If so for any language, if there exists a Turing machine for that language, means that language is recursive enumerable language. And also the same definition which is applicable for recursive language also. Okay. See, here one term, if there exists a Turing machine which will accept for all the input strings, okay, which will accept of all the input strings which are in L, okay, but may or may not halt for all input strings which are not in L, okay. If you are feed any string which are not part of a language means, you can't say whether a state going to a reject state, okay, you can't say in recursive enumerable language. In some situations, it will trapped into infinite loop. While while the Turing machine will trap into the infinite loop, we can't say whether we will receive the output accept or reject. Okay, so one more state which is added here, that is infinite loop. Okay, so recursive language means either it may go into the state accept or reject, but in recursively enumerable language, it always accept all the strings that are a part of language, and it reject some strings which are not part of the language. Sometimes it may go into the infinite loop. Okay, so see the picture is very important. Okay, this is the difference between me asking for a 2 mark, and as per Anna University syllabus, very important 2 mark difference between recursive language and recursive enumerable language. Okay, next one type of language, decidable language. Okay, so what do you mean by a decidable language? See the definition of decidable language. A language L is decidable. Okay, I hope you all could able to understand the decidable. Decidable means yes, I can come to the solution whether say yes or no. Okay, can I able to perform the decision. So language L is decidable if it is a regular language. Okay, once the language is comes to the category of recursive language, means definitely that language is decidable. Okay, so decidable language, which is nothing but a recursive language. That is, all decidable languages are recursive language and vice versa. Both are equal. All recursive, we can also say that all recursive languages are decidable. And we can also say that all decidable languages are recursive. Okay, because recursive languages has only two states. Either it going to accept or a state, or it may reject or no state. Okay, but in real time, it's very difficult to draw a Turing machine to accept recursive language. Okay, that if any Turing machine which is designed, which is particularly for recursive language, means the Turing machine which is called total Turing machine. Okay, the term which is not included in your textbook actually, total Turing machine. The Turing machine which is applicable for recursive language. Okay, it's very difficult to design a total Turing machine than a Turing machine. Okay, Turing machine as usual, which is peculiar for recursive enumerable language. Okay, so I hope you all understand how decidable language. Say yes or no in this chat box. Or do you mean the recursive? Or do you mean the recursive enumerable language? Or do you mean the decidable language? Okay, is it clear? Say yes or no in chat box. Is it clear or not? No response from the students' end. I'm not completely okay. Thanks. Thank you, Kaushika. Thank you, Swati. Okay. Only 3 terms we have learned. We have learned so far, that is recursive language, recursive enumerable language, and decidable language. And one more new term we will learn, like total Turing machine. Okay, which is pertaining to a typical recursive language. Then undecidable language. In some situation, we can't come to the solution, right? We can't we can't say every problem has a solution. Okay, some problems are there. That problem you can't come to the solution that it can be able to solve or not. So undecidable language. Okay, undecidable language means the definition is very simple. A language is undecidable if it is not decidable, right? If you can't come to any solution means that that language is undecidable, definitely. And an undecidable language may be sometimes comes to the category of partially decidable. Okay, sometimes it will go into the category of partially decidable. If it will come to the category of partially decidable means, okay, it can able to accept. It will come also. It will belongs to recursive enumerable language. Okay, sometimes one more category is also that is partially uh, decidable language. Okay, so an undecidable language sometimes maybe fall into the category of partially decidable language, which is automatically falling in the category of recursive enumerable language once it is comes under partial decidable. Okay, if a language is not even partial decidable, then there exists no Turing machine for that language. Okay, so undecidable language means if any language doesn't have any Turing machine for any particular language, the Turing machine is not possible to exist means that language is undecidable language. Okay, so this is the conclusion part for this PDF. Recursive language. Okay, so recursive language means a Turing machine will always halt. Okay, will always halt means either it may go to a state or no state, or accept state or reject state. Okay, next, recursive enumerable language. So recursive enumerable language, a Turing machine will halt sometimes and may not halt sometimes. Okay, sometimes it may go, sometimes it may go into accept state or reject it. Sometimes it may fall into the infinite loop. Okay, so that is called recursive enumerable language. So decidable language, which is alternatively we can call recursive language. Partially decidable language, which is also fall into the category of recursive enumerable language. Okay? Partially decidable. Because if your Turing machine will fall into the loop means you can't say whether it will be end or not. Okay, so undecidable means no Turing machine for that language. Okay, so these terms may help you to for your POC gate exams as well as for your MCQ. Okay, so it is main part of the MCQ part. Next also very important in MCQ part. Some theorems. Okay, see unit 5. Unit 5 is all about the theorems. So I think only one problem which is available in your unit 5. So remaining things all which is about the theorems only. Okay. Next, first theorem. These theorems which will helpful for your MCQ part as well as gate part definitely. The complement of the see, this is the important one. The complement of the recursive set is recursive. Okay, the complement of the recursive set is recursive, uh, which means if L is a language, okay, so L bar, which is the complement. Okay, so the complement of the recursive set is also recursive. So just 1 minute. So the first theorem, the complement of the recursive set is recursive. Okay. See here, this is a Turing machine, a model of Turing machine. The input string, which is X, and M, which is the Turing machine, and it is recursive, right? It is, since as it is recursive, it may go into a state or no state. If I make a complement means L will become L bar and M will become M bar. Then, okay, I will put a Turing machine over on the another Turing machine. If it is S state means S state in Turing machine M will become no state in Turing machine M dash. No state in the Turing machine M will become S state in the Turing machine M bar. See, alternately, this is the so finally this is the recursive set only. Okay, so that is hence L bar, which is also recursive. So a very important one. The complement, very important gate question. The complement of the recursive set is recursive. Okay. Next, the union of two recursive sets are recursive. Okay. Uh, if, uh, if I if I will take L1 and L2, the two languages, the union of and both are recursive. Okay. If union means see M1, which is the Turing machine, accept the language L1. M2, which is the Turing machine, which will accept the language L2. Okay. So as usual, since it is a recursive set, a Turing machine will go into a state or no state. In the no state, again I will put this no state string, which is input to the Turing machine M2. Again, it may go into the S state or no state. Okay. So finally, the combination which is yes or no. Okay. Other than there is no any state which is added. So either it may go S or it may go no. So that is why the union of two recursive sets is also recursive. And next important one, if L1 and L2 are recursive enumerable sets, then union of L1 and L2 is recursive enumerable. Okay. Union of recursive set which is recursive, union of recursive enumerable which is also recursive enumerable. Okay. So in recursive enumerable means we will consider only the S part. Okay, we won't bother on no part with no state because it may go into this reject state or else sometimes it may fall into the infinite loop. That is why here they will consider only the S part. Okay, no more part which is added here. So obviously the result is recursive enumerable set. Next, if L and L bar are recursive enumerable, we'll take the language L and the complement. L bar are recursive enumerable. Okay. If L and L bar are both recursively enumerable, okay, both recursively enumerable means then the result will become recursive. Okay, the result will become recursive. For example, L be the language which is accepted by M, L bar be the language which is accepted by the Turing machine M bar. Okay, so given W string, W will either be accepted by, so if I'm so the here the input which is W, I have given the input which is W to the machine. Okay, that string which is either accepted by M or M bar. Okay, it may either accepted by L, M or M bar. So L can be accepted by Turing machine M bar, which halts on all inputs as follows. See, I'm giving the input as W. Okay, it may go into the Turing machine M. Okay, sometimes in Turing machine M, it may go accepted. So a state. Okay, if it not accepted means it may go into the M bar. Okay, so in M, that is complement. Okay, so in complement, it is also going to some state, yes or no. Okay, so finally the result is yes or no. Okay, see, within this box, we will consider recursive enumerable sets. That is why we have added only consider yes, yes. Okay, only consider yes, yes. If any string which is fed to the Turing machine M means it sometimes it will go into S states. Once it is going into the S state means the final result is S only, accept. Sometimes it may go into the reject statements. We will sometimes it may not go into the S state. So I will give that string into the M bar. In M bar, sometimes it may go into the S state. Okay, since that is a complement, we will take this is no. Finally, the result which is yes or no. So the result which is recursive. Okay, So if L and L bar both are recursive enumerable, means while processing over on the strings, the result is recursive only. Okay. These are all some theorems and 2 marks. It made from the 2 mark part A questions. And the last one, see, here one matrix is there. Okay. In that matrix, in the top, you will take strings. And here, these are all the Turing machines. Okay. So, here, this is called diagonal element. In diagonal element, only one is there and remaining part which is all filled with zero, right? If one means whether it is accepted, the string is accepted by, see, the string W which is accepted by any Turing machine T means that is pointed out here 1. If so remaining things are filled with 0 means the strings which are not accepted by Turing machine. Okay, so in the diagonal element mostly it will filled with 0. Okay, this is actually this diagonal elements which is called diagonal language, which is also a 2 mark as per your syllabus, a diagonal language, LD, which is defined as LD, a diagonal language. I will take the language, I will take the strings from the diagonal which are not accepted by Turing machine TJ. Okay. 0, if Wi is not accepted by TJ means that is 0, it is filled. So consider diagonal elements of this infinite Boolean matrix. Take those Wi which correspond to 0. I will take only the strings which correspond to 0. Okay, in the infinite Boolean matrix. Okay, it all fall into the diagonal element only. Remaining things are filled with 1. Okay, then so remaining things are mostly filled with 1, but in the diagonal elements only, so few ones are there, remaining parts are 0. Okay, so I will take the 0 part strings and collectively we have given the name that elements to the diagonal language. So, and the conclusion is a diagonal language which is not accepted by Turing machine. Okay. So finally the conclusion is diagonal language LD. Okay, so the diagonal language, which is also the technical term related to the unit 5. Okay, it's not recursively enumerable. As it is not recursively enumerable, it doesn't have any Turing machine. Okay, so that's the conclusion. So almost a few parts in unit 3, unit 5, which is over. The remaining portions will be covered by Prasanna sir. Okay, in the later on sessions. So in this session, the recall session for a recursive language and recursive enumerable language and decidable and undecidable, then some partial decidable also possible, then some theorems. Okay, so and only one problematic part in unit 5 that called post correspondence problem. Okay, so and for this session, I will take 2 problems for post correspondence problems. The remaining portions are covered. The remaining unit 5 portions are later on sessions will be covered by Prasanna sir. So, okay, post correspondence problem. So don't leave the meeting. I'll just switch on the window. Post correspondence problem. We can also call this problem as PCP problem. Okay, very simple one, PCP problem. See the definition of this problem. Okay, let sigma be an alphabet having at least 2 elements. Okay, see the elements given 2 ordered set of strings, that is W1 up to WK. So this is one part of string. The next X1 up to XK. Okay, 2 ordered set of strings. So over sigma. Okay, both are becoming the part of the sigma. Is it so? In post correspondence problem, actually, you are going to find. Is it possible to find integers? Is it possible to find integers I1 up to In, where I which is belongs to 1 to k? Okay, such that you have to find some integers on the way, such that wi1 up to win, which is equal to xi1 up to xin. Okay, this is called post correspondence problem. We are going to find, is it possible to find any particular integers, okay, such that the integers in the form of w strings which is equal to x strings. Okay, if that integers can be found, if that integers can be found means that is called the instance of the problem. Okay, like if some integers 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 is like that. Okay, so this is the integer set you have found in your post correspondence problem means this is the instance of the problem. Okay, that instance of the, that is, as a problem has some instance, it definitely has some solution. Okay, if no such integers can be found, okay, no such integers can be found, then that instance does not have a solution. Okay, so the post correspondence problem may become the part of some decidability. Okay, decidability, whether it can be able to solve some decidability problem, it may be the part of decidability. Okay, and decidability. Let me come to the exact problem. Okay, first problem. So consider the set of strings. Okay, the set of strings is in the form of w, x. There are 4 set of strings, finite only, not infinite. Okay, just finite only. So W string, if it is W string, B, B, A, B. X string A. Second W string A, B. And second X string A 3 times 3. Third B, A, A. Then X string, which is A, A. And fourth string, which is B, X string 3 times B. Okay. So, post correspondence problem means I'm going to find an integer, set of integers with respect to the condition W strings equalized X string. Okay, W string could be equal to X string. See, first the solution part. Here, this first W string starts with B. Here, first X string starts with A. Okay, if I'm choosing one, which is the first I means, okay, I'm going to find the integer I. If I will start the procedure from 1 means, definitely it will not go into the right way, because both strings are starting with a different letter. Okay, so if any pair, okay, has contained different starting letters means different beginning letters means, it is preferable to don't pick that string as the first one. Okay, so I just reject this one. And second, it will both are starting with A as well as A only, right? Okay, it is preferable one. And third, both are starting with a different letter, so it is not preferable. And the last one, both are starting with B. Okay, so the two preferable things are here. Okay, and two which is not preferable one. So which is the best one? Either 2 or 4. which is the best one. See, in 4, number of string in W, which is 1, and number of string in X, which is 3. In 2, number of string, which is 2, and we here 4. And C, the second string, which is also equivalent between these W and X. Okay, second string, which is B, which is also equivalent. So, I will choose 2, which is the best choice. 2, I will pick 2. Okay, so the solution is I will pick first 2. So 2 means AB, okay, this is W string. So I have to equivalent between W as well as X. So this is W part. So W part AB, then X part, this is WI part, this is XI part, X part AB 2 times B. Okay. So next, which one is the best one? Okay. See, first 2 letters are equal for both W as well as X. And the third part, which starts with B in X. So it is best to pick the solution which starts with letter B. Okay, this is the best choice. So as per now, so starting with the B letter, which is the best one. Okay. So here it is starting. So here it is B. Okay, but here this is A. So here okay, and also here also B and as well as A combination, and also here also B as well as B combination. Okay, so I will see if I'm choosing as of now. It is better. You may thought it is better to choose 4, right? Because single B and 3 B's. But if I'm choosing here B and 3 times B means the length of the string uh, is longer compared with W, right? So it is not. It is also not a good way to choose 4. I will pick 1. Okay. So I will pick 1. What will happen? Let us see 1. If I'm choosing 1 means B, B, A, B, okay, B, B, B. Then what about X string? X string which is A. X string which is A. Okay. Next, which one is the best one? So as of this situation, starting with the B letter, which is the best choice. Okay. So I will pick here. I will take 4. What will happen? I will take 4. Okay. As I know the solution, I will directly take 4. Okay. But from the student point of view, you will go for some more number of iterations. Then only you can able to find the string. By practicing, it will be very easy for you. So it will take 4. Because why I choose the 4 means the length of the string for W, which is short. Okay, only 1. And length of the string, which is 3 for X. Okay, so I will choose here B, here B, B, B. Okay. Next, which is also preferable to choose the letter which is beginning with the B for W string. Okay, the next which is for W string. So I think which is the exact right one. Third, if I will pick three means C, B, A, A. Okay. For X means A, A. Okay. So as of this situation, the W I which is equal to Xi. So what's the instance of this PCP problem? 2, 1, 4, 3. This is the instance of, okay, this is the instance of this problem, okay, which is the instance. Instance or solution. We can't say this is the only one instance of a particular problem. A problem may have some one or more instances are also possible. Okay. So this is the problem number 1. So is it clear or not? So we have to find the way where where in which places Wi which is equivalent to Xi. Okay. So that way only we have to proceed. So which is the best one? So I have to choose the best one and move forward. And in sometimes in such end 2 or 3 more four iteration, you can able to match the W strings with X strings. If it is not possible, means that particular solution doesn't have any instance. Okay. Say yes or no, is it clear? Is it somewhat clear? Okay. So I will, okay, I think, okay, I will give one more problem. Students, please uh, take a note and work out this problem. You can able to find a solution or not. Okay. So the W string and X string. This is problem number 2. And 1, 2, 3. This is 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, then 1, 1, 1, 0, 1, then 0, 1, 1. Okay. So you have to find whether this problem has any instance or not. If it has instance means, then tell me the instance. This is the problem for you, for students' purpose only. I'm not going to do. You have to tell me the answer, whether this problem have any solution or instance. Okay, if it has instance means tell me the instance. Post your answer. It can able to whether you can able to find the solution or not. Could you able to find the instance? Here is it preferable to start with 1, right? For both 2 and 3, it is not possible to start or starting for it. So 1 to 3. So any other, could you able to find the solution, and 1 to 3 is the solution? One to three is not possible, Maulika. If I will go in the way, 1 to 3 means 1. This is W. This is X. 2 means 0. 1, 1. 1, 1. 3 means not 1, 0, not. Okay, this is Wi. This is Xi. Both are not equivalent, right? Could you able to find the instance or not? What about others? Any other can find the solution or can't possible to find the solution? Any other? Yes, you can't find the solution. Okay. Thank you, students.